Sometimes when I look at Hello Kitty, I always say to myself, you know what she is missing? A machete with blood all over it. And in the other hand is one of her victims' heads, and she can travel through dimensions like it's Doctor Who or something. And I should go back to Thera. No! While we're on this topic of psychopathic fantasies, let's talk about an anime called When They Cry, or as the weeaboos like to call it, Higurashi no Naku Koro Boro no Zoroboro Portal Moro Goro Foyo Noyo Boyo Speedo Burrito. The show was about a boy named Keiichi Maribara, who just moved to a rural town called Hinamizawa. There he discovers he's a chick magnet and has made 5 friends and all that good stuff. Keiichi also discovered a history about an ancient curse that kills people in horrifying ways and is now caught into an endless cycle of violence, possibly relating to the curse of the town. Well, I'm gonna have to stop here because explaining the rest of this is just very mind-boggling. But right now, I'm gonna have to make like class reflection and say this. If you're one of those people who enjoys going to things without knowing what to expect, then do not watch this review unless you want to see my bitter nitpicking hilarity. Now, let me give you my first thoughts on the first some minutes on When They Cry. Yes, okay, it's good. What are you doing? Why is he doing this? Oh my gosh, that is a human being! You are hitting a human girl! Well, he stopped and she's dead and bloody. Holy crap, he killed 2 people! What are you? You are a freaking psychopath! That is literally the first scene they show you before the opening starts. What a way to grab the viewer's interest, am I right? Speaking of introductions, the opening is pretty good. It's eerie, creepy, and a little disturbing, and the song that goes with it's pretty catchy. Heck, I think they play that song in Japanese clubs. Now I know what you're thinking. What about the show? What about the show? It's a can of worms, beetles, and blood. What more can you ask for? And opening said can is quite an experience. I'll tell you what I mean. When They Cry is a weird way of telling its story, and that's just as confusing as Kingdom Hearts. Okay, maybe I exaggerate on that too much there, but still. It's a Marvel Cinematic Universe thing of everyone dies, but not really. And there are arcs. The arcs are either in a different universe or in a different time period of a universe. Heck, as I was watching the show, I tried to put together all the events of what happened, of what came first, what probably came first, what never happened, what probably happened, what was a flashback, what really— oh my gosh, everything that is right is now wrong! The universe is broken as we speak! It is not the most confusing of storylines, but it is one of them. I heard everything gets explained in Season 2, but Season 2 is unlike— oh. Well, points to you, Sentai Filmworks. As I was saying, if you're expecting an anime in which it's a who's the killer and what's the cause, well, you'll be pretty disappointed because it's not that kind of mystery show. Now let's talk characters. Let's round them up because we got Keiichi, your generic pretty boy. Rena, your cute girl. Rika, your slightly cuter girl. Satoko, your cute girl with a tragic story so sad that putting the world's most overused song in her backstory will cause millions of people to start the events of Waterworld with their own tears. Mion, your tomboy girl. Shion, the tomboy psychotic twin. Detective Oishi, a detective with the secret life of a pedophile, seeing as he likes to hang around kids. And Tomitake, the photographer that breaks the stereotype of the black guy dying first and substitutes for having him and his unlucky wife die first. But not really. I can't really call them stock characters, but somehow I just seem to appear more if anything else. Maybe it's because these characters act different in each arc, and I don't know if I made myself clear on this, but the arc storytelling is just confusing. Because of this, I became skeptical for all these characters. When I'm skeptical of a character, there's a rare chance of me liking them. Keiichi is not a special character in general. He's not only your generic pretty boy, but he's basically every horror movie protagonist ever. I mean, I find myself yelling at Keiichi, "Don't do it!" or "You're gonna get killed!" And he suffers the consequences, but not really. In fact, going back to the story, I like the pacing of the show. I like how it goes from cutesy lolly stuff to bloody murder. It does a good job at shocking the viewer. I heard that the show made those psychotic faces that the characters make when they just snapped and dove into the world of insanity pretty famous. Speaking completely unrelated to Lucky Star, its gory scenes were pretty disturbing. I can't tell what was more disturbing: Rika stabbing herself, the fingernail removing scene, or Sadako's torture. So while the anime didn't make me feel sad or anything, I was more disturbed, and after an episode of death and violence, I'd be like, what the is wrong with these characters? I know some of you might say, oh Nick, it's not as bad as Elfen Lied. Well, I haven't seen Elfen Lied, and I mean Lead, but judging by some clips I've seen, it does look— well, you're probably not even listening because you just had an aneurysm over me saying Elfen Lied. And now to make things more controversial, I thought the English dub was alright. Seriously, you people complain too much. At least its voice acting wasn't on the line of, I hope no one makes fun of me for calling you a lunch meal. I'm not saying it is the best dub in the world. There are definitely better dubs out there. This one has some flaws to it, especially some of Shion's lines. Also, the editor of the dub had no motivation to work during the process because one of Rena's lines were repeated twice, and when an employee found out about this, he had to be watched all the time when working. Well, I've run out of things to ramble about, so let's get to the conclusion. When They Cry is not a perfect anime, but let me just say this. My head hurts.